at big hotels and spending a lot of money, and you know, like, what's the point? Building big temples with $1 million budgets and like this, and oh geez, $500,000 disappeared into my personal bank account. How did that happen? And then they spend it on traveling and opulence. What is this? This is asat trishna. This is precisely the thirst for material things. So be very careful of this anartha. And finally, hridaya daurbalya. Hridaya means of the heart. And daurbalya means weakness. Bala means strength. Balya means someone who's strong. But dur means difficult or hard. So this could be translated either weakness of heart or hardness of heart. Either way, it has the same effect. If one's heart becomes hard, then what's the question of love? What's the question? You cannot love if our heart is made of stone, stone-hearted, hard-hearted. It's not possible to love. Little children can love easily because their heart's still soft. They haven't had so many bad experiences in life. And so they naturally tend to love. But then when people grow up and they become cynical, and maybe they have some bad experiences in life, and their heart becomes hard. And so they don't trust easily, they're not affectionate, you know, they become hard-hearted. Well, a hard-hearted person can't really engage in devotional service because how, you know, if you can't love Krishna, who can you love? Krishna is the most lovable, most attractive, cutest, most affectionate, most loving, most merciful person. If you can't love Krishna, then forget it. But the thing is, love doesn't turn on and off like a faucet, you know. So if you can't love in people around you in this material world, then how are you going to love Krishna? That when we go in the temple, then all of a sudden we turn it on and, oh, I love you. And then we come out of the temple and turn it off. And then, you know, where's my money? You know, you can't have it both ways. Either your heart is hard or it's soft. It's not something you can turn on and off. Like, you know, it's not a machine. It's not mechanical. So if someone is soft-hearted, they're going to be soft-hearted all the time. In their dealings, they're going to be very easy and very merciful and very truthful and straightforward. They're not going to be, you know, they're not going to give people a hard time for no reason at all, just because of bad attitude, you know. And if they do give someone a hard time, it's because there's a long history of dealings between them, and they're trying to mercifully change some of the person's attitudes or activities. So just like, you know, when a spiritual master chastises a disciple, he's not doing it out of hardness of heart. He's doing it because he cares. Just like when a mother or father chastises a child, they don't want the child to develop bad qualities or bad attitudes. So they chastise the child, you know, and of course, you know, the stock line is, this hurts me more than it hurts you. You know? But really, it's true. We don't like to be, we don't like to yell at people, but if they're, you know, on the verge of making some horrible mistake, then it's really important that we correct them. So sometimes we have to do that, but we don't like to. Okay, so now we have 4 kinds of anarthas. 4 kinds are svarup brahma, which means illusion regarding one's eternal identity. Asat trishna, which means thirst for material things. Aparada, which means offenses. and hridaya daurbalya, which means weakness of heart or hardness of heart. So now each one of these is divided into further subdivisions. Svarupa Brahma is of 4 kinds. Svatattva Brahma, which is also called Jiva Swarup Brahma, which means illusion about one's own spiritual identity. Now, what does that mean? Well, when people think that I am this body, or I am a member of this family, or I am a citizen of this country, or I am male, or I'm female, or I am, this kind of person, that kind. I'm strong, I'm weak, I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm young, I'm old, I'm this, I'm that. This is illusion about one's real identity. We're not situated in our real spiritual identity. Instead, we are accepting some temporary qualities, some temporary identities, some material idea of who we are. So this is illusion. Why is it illusion? Because it's temporary. Now my body is getting old, but before it was young. Now my hair is white, before it used to be brown. Well, what happened? It's temporary. So if I think, oh, I'm an old man. No, that wasn't true 20, 30 years ago. And 20 or 30 years from now, it's not going to be true either. So this is just temporary. If I identify with being an old man, then I start to think, oh, my body has to be all creaky, and then I have to be all crotchety and mean to everybody. Dang it. No, I'm not going to get like that. I'm a spirit soul. See, so as soon as I start thinking or identifying with some material identities, then I'm going to pick up material qualities. See? And material qualities are always sources of suffering, both for oneself and others. Therefore, this is an anartha. See, why should I think that I'm this material body? I'm not this material body. And instead of thinking of myself as a spirit soul, if I think I'm this material body, then I'm going to start identifying with the qualities of this body. And that's going to lead to suffering. So that's an anartha. That will steal away my wealth. It will take away my opulence of spiritual qualities and instead give me the poverty of material qualities. Anartha. And I don't want that. So I reject that misidentification. The second one is Paratattva Brahma, illusion about the spiritual identity of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Well, we know the Supreme Absolute Truth is Krishna. And Krishna has so many expansions. And who is or is not an expansion of Krishna is not determined by our speculation. It's given in the scriptures. You see? So we know, for example, that Vyasadeva is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. We know that Balaram is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Lord Chaitanya, Dattatreya, and Rishabdev, and so many others. They are incarnations of the Lord because they're mentioned in the scriptures. If, let's say, I was going to a foreign country, or no, even better, if I was going to open a temple in a foreign country, and but I couldn't go, I wanted my disciples to go, then I would give them some paper saying, this person has the ability to act on my behalf. It's called a power of attorney. For example, if I go to India, and whoever stays here has to sell our truck, our wonderful truck, I can give them a power of attorney, a piece of paper that gives them the authority to do that business. And I can make it as specific or as general as I want. You see? So then they can sell the truck and go off to Vegas. No. what you would get for that truck, you couldn't even go in the front door in Vegas. But the point is, when Krishna sends a representative, or when Krishna comes himself, he indicates in the scriptures, because the scriptures come from Krishna, he indicates who his incarnations are. You know, just like I would give a power of attorney, he gives in the Vedas the mention that, okay, this person is my expansion, this person is my incarnation. And we have different classes of incarnation of Krishna, and these are all given in the scriptures too. So we don't have to speculate, we don't have to guess, we don't have to use our imagination. And certainly we don't ever want to make a false claim to be an incarnation of Krishna if we're not. Just like the biggest problem early on in Srila Prabhupada's